Hi everyone, and welcome back to Inside Tech. Today's video is one of the most highly requested on the channel, and certainly one of the reviews I've been most looking forward to. These are the new WF-1000XM3, the latest model in Sony's true wireless earphone range, which are widely regarded to be the new AirPods killers. These earphones are boasting an impressive spec sheet, offering up to 8 hours of listening per charge, digital audio upscaling, and of course these are one of the few true wireless earphones on the market that are offering active noise cancelling. Sony are the current market leaders with noise cancelling, and their M3 headphones are the best ANC headphones on the market right now. A lot of the same technologies have now been implemented into the earbuds too, so I'm pretty optimistic about how well these will perform. The M3s address and improve upon pretty much every problem with the previous model, but also introduce some great new features too. From the very packaging to the earbuds themselves, everything about these earphones screams premium quality, and at over $200, I would hope so too. With the many flagship features on offer here, these are certainly looking like the new true wireless earphones to beat. Let's take a look. Starting off with the charging case, this is easily one of the more elegant charging cases on the market. The soft rubberized body is complemented beautifully by the copper-coloured lid, so it's a shame that you'll inevitably spoil the matte finish with your fingerprints. At the bottom of the case we have the USB-C charging port, some subtle Sony branding on the top surface, but otherwise the design is pretty sleek and minimal. The lid is held magnetically closed, but can be lifted fairly easily to reveal the earbuds. The earbuds are also held magnetically in the case, so you don't need to worry about these falling out accidentally, but again these can be lifted out fairly easily. When you place the earbuds back in the case, the earbud LEDs will illuminate to show that they're charging. This is a clever feature, since a lot of other charging cases also use magnets, but they don't give any indication that the earbuds have actually been placed back correctly, and that they're in contact with the charging pins. Dropping the earbuds back into the case is pretty simple. The earbuds seem to naturally find their way into place, and give a satisfying click as the magnets engage. There's also an LED on the outside of the case that will glow whilst your earbuds are charging, and turns off when they're done, so you can instantly see when your earbuds are fully charged. With charging the case, the LED turns off when that's fully charged too, so it's super handy. As charging cases go, this one is on the larger size. Not quite as large as the bulky Powerbeats Pro case, but certainly less pocketable than something like AirPods. For a case this size though, I was hoping that this would support wireless charging, but sadly, it doesn't. With all things considered though, this is one of the better charging cases for true wireless earphones. The earbuds continue this sense of premium quality with a really clean design, high quality materials, and an excellent build quality. The outside surface features one of the microphones used for ANC and voice calls, and there's also a large multi-function touchpad. We also have some left and right indicators, which correspond to the inside of the charging case, and an angled silicone ear tip for improved ergonomics. That shiny black plastic you see on the opposite side of the connector pins is actually an ambient light sensor, which is used for the auto pause system. On the outside edge there are also LEDs which can indicate pairing status, battery levels, and charging information. The WF-1000XM3 brings some unity to Sony's audio lineup, both in terms of the naming and design, with the WH-1000XM3 headphones. A lot of the same technologies and features are used in both too, so it's nice to have both headphone and earbud options now, although let's be honest, the naming system could do with some work. The base of each ear tip is actually made from a rubberized material to provide extra grip in your ears. This helps massively not only with achieving a tight seal, but also to prevent these from slipping out during use, and I did find that these stayed in my ears completely fine, without ever feeling like they were slipping. Packing this much tech inside, the earbuds are definitely on the larger side, and aren't as subtle in your ears as some of the competitors. Having said that, they don't feel bulky or heavy in your ears at all. The majority of the earbud is held outside of your ear, and I expected these to perhaps feel as though they were pulling downwards, but this wasn't a problem at all. The earbuds feel light, and are actually surprisingly comfortable to wear. If you want to wear these for long periods of time, you shouldn't have any issues at all. I personally found that these give a really secure fit in my ear, so the passive noise isolation was pretty good. There are more isolating earbuds on the market, but these still did a good job of blocking out the external sound passively when the ANC was turned off. The tight seal also kept sound leakage to a minimum, so only when you're listening at loud volumes might the person sitting next to you be disturbed. As with any true wireless earbuds, how well these will fit and stay in your ears is dependent on your ear shape and which ear tips you use. Luckily, Sony gives us a wide choice of ear tips, including foam ear tips, so you should be able to find a combination that works for you. Although I found these very secure whilst out walking, I'm not sure that I trust them to stay put whilst running, but sadly, since these aren't designed with sports use in mind, they don't offer any form of sweat or water resistance, which is probably the biggest feature missing from these earbuds. Each earbud has its own touch control system, and this can be customized in the companion app. By default, tapping the right earbud will play or pause your music, and a double tap is used to skip forward, and a triple tap to skip back. The double tap is also used to answer or hang up phone calls using either earbud, and they will automatically change the control scheme during an incoming call for this, which is pretty cool. Tapping and holding the right touchpad will invoke your phone's voice assistant. The left earbud by default will cycle through the different levels of ANC, from noise cancelling to ambient sound, which lets you hear your surroundings, or to turn these off altogether. If you tap and hold, you can invoke Quick Attention, a feature we've seen before with Sony's headphones. Quick Attention temporarily lowers your music volume and turns on ambient sound to the max so that you can clearly hear your surroundings whilst you're holding the touchpad. As soon as you let go, the music volume returns to normal, and whatever ambient sound mode you were using resumes. This feature is super handy to quickly hear what's going on around you without having to permanently change your settings. It works really quickly, and I'm glad it's been included with these earbuds too. In general, the touchpad sensitivity was really well balanced. The earbuds differentiated between taps really well, and this is one of the best touch control schemes from any earbuds I've tested so far. The controls are fast, accurate, and I didn't have any issues with registering commands like I have had with some of the competitors, such as AirPods. A nice addition is that the touchpad deactivates when you take the earbuds out of your ears to help avoid any unwanted presses. The controls are pretty intuitive, and there's a good range of options here, but I have to say that not having volume control is definitely a drawback. A lot of people want to be able to change the volume directly from their earbuds, and to be honest, these earbuds could be large enough to have a Powerbeats Pro style volume button at the top of the earbud. But if Sony had to leave this out to prevent the earbuds from becoming too bulky, then I am okay with this omission. As I mentioned before, you can change up the touchpad controls to your liking in the Sony Headphone Connect app. Here you can set either earbud to operate playback controls, cycle through the ambient sound mode, turn off the touchpad completely, or directly access the Google Assistant. If you want to make things simpler, you can have both earbuds do the same thing, so you don't need to think about it. And since you can use either earbud on its own, you have the option to change the controls to something more appropriate for single earbud use, which could be really useful if one of your earbuds runs out of battery. I definitely think that volume control should be an option here though, so hopefully this will become introduced with a software update in the future. It's no secret that Sony are killing it lately with active noise cancelling, and their WH-1000XM3 headphones are arguably the best ANC headphones on the market right now. Trying to translate that kind of performance into these tiny earbuds is a difficult feat, and true wireless earphones will never be able to offer the same kind of ANC performance as headphones. Sony are one of the only companies to have even tried this, and good ANC in true wireless earbuds is almost unheard of. But after the somewhat lackluster performance of the previous generation, I was initially skeptical about this new model, but having tested this feature out fully, Sony may have now won me over. With noise cancelling turned on, there is a subtle but noticeable improvement in how much external noise is blocked out. Of course, this is nowhere near the level of the headphones cancellation, but you can definitely hear that your surroundings become ever so slightly muffled when turning ANC on. Again, it's only really the lower frequency sounds that get cancelled, such as wind noise and traffic, and there isn't much cancellation for voices and other mid to high frequencies. In a quiet environment, you might notice an ever so slight hiss, but this becomes inaudible with music playing. One interesting thing I noted was that your music sounds noticeably more bassy with ANC turned on. Now this could be a byproduct of the ANC, as certain external frequencies become cancelled, some of your music's frequencies may become boosted. But I wonder if this is intentional on Sony's part to give the illusion of more effective noise cancelling when listening to music. Either way, your music does become more isolated and immersive with ANC on, and I can hear the difference without music playing, so something is definitely working, even if the change is quite subtle. The QN1E processor is a new addition to this year's model, and the ANC performance does seem to have been improved a lot from the previous generation. The upgraded processor is also more efficient and uses less power for ANC, which is how Sony have been able to drastically improve upon the battery life. Overall, I really liked the ANC feature. The more I used it, the more I realised how much I was relying on it, and it's a worthwhile addition to the earbuds. But the noise cancelling can be quite subtle, so I would suggest not to buy these earphones solely for the ANC. I should also give a mention to the ambient sound mode, which works very effectively too. Being able to hear your surroundings can be really important, and Sony's version of this feature offers decent amplification compared to the competition. I also like that you can personalize the level of sound amplification, so whenever you cycle through to the ambient sound mode, you can hear as much of your environment as you choose. Another feature borrowed from Sony's headphone lineup is adaptive sound control. This essentially enables the noise cancelling to automatically adjust depending on your environment. For example, if you're sat stationary at your desk, then the noise cancelling will operate at maximum to help you keep focus. But as you get up and start walking, the earbuds will automatically switch over to enable ambient sound to filter in, so that you can safely hear your surroundings. The feature is pretty cool, and could be handy on a long commute if you want to keep your hands free, but the same problems are unfortunately still present. It doesn't always accurately detect your change in environment, or this can take a really long time to change over. and I normally found it easier to just tap the earbud to change the ANC manually. Taking a look at the rest of the features in the app here, you have the option to toggle on and off auto pause. This feature will automatically pause your music when you remove an earbud, and resumes playing when you place the earbud back in. It's a really handy feature, so I'm glad to see it included here. Next up is an option to choose whether you prioritize sound quality or a stable connection. Now, I didn't have any connection issues when prioritizing sound quality myself, but it's good to at least be given the option here if you find yourself in an area with high interference, and this could be a helpful feature. Now underneath is another new addition to the M3s, which is Sony's digital sound enhancement engine. This feature can upscale your compressed audio files to near high resolution audio. We've seen this feature before with the M3 headphones, and this has the potential to significantly improve the audio quality, but it will consequently drain the battery quicker. Towards the bottom here we have a toggle for the auto power off feature, which helps to preserve the earbuds' battery life by turning them off after 5 minutes of inactivity. And the final two toggles here let you turn off voice prompts if you prefer, and also to enable automatic software downloads. There are quite a few features packed into these earbuds, and in general, the Sony Headphone Connect app is one of the most comprehensive and user-friendly companion apps on the market. Getting into the battery life now, this is an area where the previous generation fell short. Thanks to a host of upgrades though, the earbuds are offering 6 hours of listening with ANC turned on, or 8 hours with ANC turned off. The charging case then provides 3 additional charges, offering up to 32 hours of total battery life, or 24 hours if you use ANC, which is fantastic. As one of the only true wireless earbuds offering ANC, to still offer one of the best battery lives on the market is seriously impressive. From my testing, I did lose an hour or so of listening when using the digital sound enhancement engine or the earbuds equalizer, but this is to be expected. The case of course uses the latest USB-C connection for charging, and offers a pretty decent fast charge for the earbuds too, with a 10-minute charge providing 1.5 hours of listening. A full charge of the earbuds will take around 90 minutes, and charging both the earbuds and the case fully will take around 3 hours. As I mentioned earlier, the only disappointing thing was that the case doesn't support wireless charging. In another improvement from the previous generation, the M3s now receive the Bluetooth signal directly to each earbud, rather than being sent to one earbud and relaying the signal to the other. This not only allows you to use either earbud on its own, but should provide a more stable connection overall, especially with the improved antennas too. The earphones are using the latest Bluetooth 5 technology, and provide excellent connectivity. In fact, these have been the strongest performers in my line of sight tests so far, giving a crazy 685 feet. Obviously, you're going to get much shorter ranges in more realistic situations, but it's still a positive indicator. During the battery testing, there wasn't a single interruption to the music throughout the entire duration of the tests, and in general, the Bluetooth performance was extremely stable. The drawback with the connectivity here is that only SBC and AAC codecs are supported, which means that there's no aptX or Sony's LDAC support. From my experience, LDAC can often be a little unstable anyway, so I was happy enough to see this codec reserved for the M3 headphones, but certainly the lack of aptX support was disappointing. In terms of latency, you can notice a slight delay in the audio when watching YouTube on an iPhone, but you do have to look very closely. With Netflix though, the audio was perfectly in sync. Latency was better on Android with no issues on YouTube or Netflix at all, even without aptX support, so watching videos should be absolutely fine. Another disappointment was a lack of multi-device pairing. This is a feature that's typically missing from even flagship headphones, and it was a shame not to see it supported here. You are able to pair with 2 devices, but not have them connected at the same time. As soon as you try to connect to the second device, the earbuds will disconnect from the first. What was great to see though was the inclusion of NFC, so you can simply tap your Android phone to the case and you'll instantly pair with the earbuds. Now getting into the microphone test for call quality, what you're hearing now is taken directly from the earbuds, and whilst the sound quality isn't bad in quiet environments, I did notice that the volume can often fluctuate, and this is especially a problem if it's loud or windy outside. If you want to use these earbuds for making phone calls, then it is possible, but quiet environments are definitely recommended. When it comes to sound quality, quite simply, these are the best sounding true wireless earphones out there. What really struck me is how incredibly crisp and clear the sound is. The detail is fantastic. You can distinctly hear the individual instruments, and you can really appreciate the separation on the soundstage. The audio is just really well balanced, and even straight out of the box, the earbuds sound really good. But I think you'll get the most out of the audio by using the built-in equalizer. Personally, I think the excited equalizer really enriches your music. It definitely adds a lot more thump into the bass, but maintains that fidelity in your music. The preset equalizer settings are actually really interesting. They can drastically alter your music, accurately adapt the sound as they describe, and you can really hear the difference reflected in the audio. The great thing is, you can also fine-tune the sound to your liking with the custom equalizer. These earbuds can get quite loud, and I found that 50 to 60% volume was a decently loud but still comfortable listening level. As I mentioned before, turning on ANC does, for whatever reason, give a nice kick to the audio, particularly with regards to the bass, which never becomes overpowering. With the isolation provided by ANC, your music is really immersive, as this is definitely the best listening experience I've had with true wireless earphones so far. In terms of pure audio quality, these are the ones to beat. Now the final thing to talk about is the price, and as you'd probably expect, these are one of the more expensive true wireless earphones on the market. They're not quite as much as Sennheiser's or the Powerbeats Pro, but at $229 or £220, these certainly aren't cheap. I do think you get better value for money with Sony's earbuds though, unless of course you want to use them for sports, in which case the Powerbeats Pro are hard to beat. The M3s have also been dubbed the new AirPods killers, and I have to say that I agree with this. The wireless charging model is similarly priced to Sony's earbuds, but even the standard model at $159 doesn't offer enough to be better value than the M3s, unless perhaps if you're an Apple user. I would say that the M3s are probably slightly overpriced, as most of these earbuds are, and the inclusion of water resistance, aptX support, or wireless charging would really have helped to justify the price. Having said that, these are an excellent pair of earbuds, so if you are able to stomach the high price tag, I don't think that you'd be disappointed. Sony are pretty notorious for cutting prices though. The M3 headphones are currently over £60 cheaper than their original price, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the price drop on the earbuds in the future. Sony have absolutely delivered on their new true wireless earbuds. The improvements made with the M3s make them a worthy successor to the previous model, and I love having these as my daily listening device. The battery life, comfort, and sound quality are all fantastic, but the lack of any water resistance means that I can't use these as an all-round device. If you want your earbuds to also be suitable to take to the gym, you're going to need to look elsewhere. Including water resistance here would easily make these the best true wireless earphones on the market, and in many areas, these Sony earbuds are the best out there. But it's hard to really say that these beat out competitors like the Jabra Elite Active 65T, which offer almost as many features, are IP56 rated, and are cheaper too. If you just want a pair of true wireless earphones for listening to music, you'd be hard pushed to find a higher quality or better sounding pair of earbuds than these. Either way, Sony's WF-1000XM3 are an expensive but fantastic pair of true wireless earphones. But what do you guys think about these earbuds? Do these take the crown as the new best true wireless earphones on the market, or would the lack of volume control or water resistance put you off? Of course, if you have any questions about these earbuds, or think I missed anything, then do let me know down in the comments section below. If you found this video helpful at all, then please show your support by giving this a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, then make sure you're subscribed with notifications on to make sure you're notified when the next video goes live. You can also follow the channel on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at InsideTech Limited for all of the latest news and some extra content too. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.